The ghosts of the Hogwarts castle have always inspired great interest in us, regular fans of the universe of Harry Potter. What's interesting is how they emerge into existence and live their ghostly lives, as well as their similarities with those who gave them their souls. Moaning Myrtle is a doubly interesting example in this case. The one was quite distinct from all the other ghosts of the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. So here are the questions. How did she appear there? Why did she show such an interest towards Harry Potter? And finally, why did she choose bathroom facilities as her place of living? Here some people might say, she haunts the toilet chambers because she died there. However, judging by the destinies of other ghosts, that is not how it usually works. There is a lot of doubt that Headless Nick, another famous ghost that appears in both the books and the films, was decapitated in the precise location where he now lives. These very doubts I and many of my friends have with the Bloody Baron and his unfortunate victim, Helena Ravenclaw. Of course, the location of one's death can possibly affect the dead person's afterlife, but, as we will be able to find out soon enough, there were other likely reasons that were way deeper than that. In the world of Harry Potter, a ghost is a type of spirit, a transparent imprint of a soul that a dead wizard or a witch once possessed. This soul, as we know, continues its existence in the world of the living. We also know that it is practically impossible for muggles to become ghosts, while some animals can do it. It is also interesting to note that strategically thinking and generally smart wizards rarely choose the ghostly path, since it usually carries with it the burden of centuries of mental sufferings, of thinking about the unfinished business one couldn't finish during their life, be it fears, guilt, eternal sorrow, or extremely profound attachment to the material realm. And Mytle Elizabeth Warren, the heroine of our today's tale, suffered many troubles. She was bullied, teased because of her physical appearance and her fragile soul. Who knows, maybe one day she might have become a poet. People who frequently cry can sometimes possess profound artistic abilities, yet her destiny was too grim for that to ever come true. She died young, killed by a terrifying sight of a basilisk's deadly eyes. Her destiny was to become the first prey of Lord Voldemort, a terrible man who was then merely a boy, Tom Riddle. It was that day when an innocent boy became a villain. Continuing her afterlife as a ghost, Myrtle, just as many other ghosts, lost her ability to feel any of the life's pleasures and the opportunity to physically grow and evolve. She literally became an image of herself, a mere projection of her soul, tormented by eternal sorrows. Many sincerely doubt that the ghost can become a good friend, and I can agree. Their grief is usually magnified, and communicating with them can sometimes pose great challenge. If I were a psychotherapist from the 19th century, I would call her behavior hysterical. She loves to literally bathe in the feeling of regret, crying and mourning, making our hearts tremble in discomfort just to attract some attention to herself. The worst thing of all is that she is not just an innocent crying girl. No, she is manipulative, she is malevolent, she laughs when others suffer. For example, when Hermione was once turned into a cat, and above all, she adores over-dramatization and exaggerated expressions of emotions, not to mention that she easily gets offended, and often acts in an infantile, childish fashion. As it is known, ghosts can easily pass through physical objects, causing no harm to themselves, even though fire, water, and air can be disrupted by their presence. For example, air can become colder, and fire can turn blue. When a ghost goes through a living person, the living being also experiences coldness, a spooky experience. By the way, it is prohibited for wizards to share their knowledge about ghosts with muggles. And since no normal muggle can ever see a ghost with the naked eye, we can say that almost everything normal people know about ghosts is wrong. What is weird, in our opinion, is this tendency of wizards of Hogwarts to not try and get rid of troublemakers such as Myrtle. She was an annoying ghost who sometimes even caused real troubles, like flooding the bathrooms. Still, sometimes she could show kindness towards the visitors, and maybe she even enjoyed some affection on part of the locals. Who knows? However, as we mentioned in the beginning of our story, she was usually not a pleasant person to be near. Her constant mourning and exaggerated emotions were not a pleasant sight to see and to hear, and her behavior was sometimes very tricky. Still, with each passing year she was indeed starting to feel better, less terrified of the idea of spending an eternity in toilet chambers. Her experience there, while tiring, was somewhat meditative. Perhaps that was the reason she chose to live in a bathroom. All that ambient, while creepy, did provide some tranquility and peace. Still, after all the years of this mental contemplation, Moaning Myrtle was still a teenager, filled with many negative thoughts that made her very bitter in relation to others. J.K. Rowling once said that Myrtle was somewhat of a collective image of a crying girl in communal bathrooms, especially at the parties and discos of her youth. According to her words, she enjoyed placing Harry and Ron in such uncomfortable and unfamiliar territory in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets and Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. According to the same source, Myrtle was one of the first ghosts the author ever wrote for Hogwarts, and her initial name was Wailing Wanda. Although there were some others, including Professor Binns, the Grey Lady, then called the Whispering Lady, and the Bloody Baron. There was also a Black Knight, the Toad, which left ectoplasm all over its classroom, and a ghost she regrets not using. His name was Edmund Grubb, and the notes beside him say, "Expired in a doorway of the dining hall. Sometimes stops people getting in out of spite. Fat Victorian ghost. Ate poisonous berries." As it turns out, Myrtle is an ordinary ghost who doesn't understand the meaning of her existence. Before Harry appeared in her, life, she never told anyone the story of her death, not even to Albus Dumbledore. All of these years spent in the bathroom, all of these years of crying and possibly thinking about her life and the world, brought very little to her mind. And yet, we can see that she wasn't just an egotistical child. After all, she did help Harry to solve the mystery of the Triwizard Tournament. And it seems she didn't have a heart of stone, if we presume that ghosts have hearts, of course. Since she obviously had some feelings toward Harry, even though her actions still remained a bit weird, for the lack of a better word. The most interesting part was that sometimes she acted as some kind of a school psychologist, talking to some of the depressed students, including no other than Draco Malfoy, whom she even considered a close friend, or a lover, if ghosts can have lovers. Or a lover, if ghosts can have lovers. She was attracted to bad boys after all. By the way, a question to the viewers. Do you guys think a bathroom can be a good place for a date? What do you think about such mysterious and, quite frankly, creepy places? Write your opinion in the comments section. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel to experience the real atmosphere of Harry Potter, and to press the like button. Thanks for your attention, ladies and gentlemen, and see you in next video.